And we are live. Yes, we are live. We'll just Josh for a second, give a couple people a moment to pop in here and see what's going on. Now let's see. I want to see the screen where it's showing that. So just go stream now, I guess, and see what's going on now. What's showing? So there we go. Let's see. It says I'm offline on here. Are we not online on YouTube? Okay. Okay, can you see the chat section? All that. You can. Okay, good, because I can't yet. Mine's still not allowing me to do that. It says resume Hangouts on air. I could hit that. Or okay, good. So we got people popping in then there, because mine's going a little slow on my end to see it, because that's just how I've been. Up now I can see it. Good. Hi everyone. We have KU8T, Unranked Chevron, Nightwolf, which you already said hi in there as well. Okay. Chaos Hockey Spirit. Yes. When everybody knows your name. Oh, good. Dark Philly, how are you? Engleteen has not been able to join us yet, sadly. I don't know what's going on. I wish him the best. He has not responded, so I'm hoping he's okay. You can't hear. Again? Is anybody else not able to hear? Yeah, this one might not be on us this time, because I think everybody else is hearing us, correct? You guys can hear us? Okay, oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yep, good. They can hear us, so it's on your end if you can't hear. Yeah, it could be after that last horrific event we had of nothing working at all. Well, I just first all like to say thank you. I'm hoping Engleteen will be able to join us sooner than later. I don't know what's going on with him. We had this scheduled. Oh, you can hear me, but nobody else. You can only hear me again. You can't hear. Wait, talk Nightwolf and make sure they can hear you. No, they can't hear you. What is going on? I don't know. This is another issue. Again, why don't you go ahead and close out and then click back on the link and pop in? That's what happened last time, and we had it working that way. All right, he's going to try to hop out and hop back in and see if that works, because evidently Hangout has been wonderfully bad lately. Still be better in Secret. This event would still be better in Secret Empire. I do appreciate that. Nightwolf's going to hop back in. He's going to see if you can hear him. We had the same thing last time with issues, and I don't have anybody muted or anything in here. It says he wasn't showing in my Hangout below. Okay, just a second. I'm going to close this out. We're going to try something here. I think I know what happened here. It opened up another window on me. And I'm going to send him another one here. There, I'm going to send him another Hangout address. I bet it messed up on that because it opened up another one. So I'm going to see this if this works for him, guys. Sorry about, once again, too many technical issues lately. Hopefully this one works. Meanwhile, let me pull up the YouTube and see, wow, you guys are going. It's terrorists, yeah. No, you're not too late. We're hoping to still get things working. Nightwolf's hopefully joining in again. We're going to see if that works, everybody. So thank you. I really do apologize for all the technical issues. Hopefully this gets going and he gets in okay. Hopefully he got my message. Okay, he's popped in again. Talk, sir.
Ah, Jesus.
Right, well, if you need to talk, see if they can hear you.
Hello, I am here.
Okay, can you guys hear him now?
Hello?
Dark Philly, everyone, can you hear Nightwolf? There we go. Okay, yep, that's what it is. It popped up another window, and I must have gave you the wrong link. I apologize. So we were talking.
We did it!
All right.
Okay.
Sorry about that. All right, we're still waiting on Engeltine. As I said, I don't know what happened. I hope he'll still be able to make it. We just wanted to talk, and as well as talk with you guys and share our feelings about the current situation, everything that's going on. And I do say I would like to, if all possible, keep this somewhat positive. If
Good
you,
luck
you know,
with
on
that.
my channel, you know, and hopefully you've gotten a message on my channel. My channel is not a hate channel. My channel is an inclusive channel. In my opinion, comic books before was more of a niche thing. And as nerds, if you want to call it, and I mean that as a term of endearment, we had a band together. We were together. And then it became popular. And now the people that are in the industry, it seems like, are trying to separate us and break us up and act like we were never inclusive, when the true thing is we were always inclusive. They're making it exclusive.
Maybe Marvel Comics kidnapped Englentine?
That's just in. Engeltine has been captured by Marvel Comics. Mark Waid went psychotic.
It all makes sense now.
Yes, it makes so much sense of why he's not there. And if I'm clicking on there, I'm looking for him. So.
Right now, I am waiting for people wearing Marvel bands and jackboots to bust through my door right now at this very moment. I'm actually peering out my window just to be safe. Okay, we're clear.
So what I would like to say is, you know, we had a conversation, what was it, just last week, and we were talking about the discontinuity of comic fans, and we even invited Drunken Podcast or whatever, which we've had issues with, and we were able to have some common ground. And matter of fact, ever since then, I don't know about you, Nightwolf, I've had good interactions with him. How about you?
He hasn't really interacted with me too much, but he seems to be behaving himself.
Yeah.
At least when he interacts with us, that is.
Well, he's even given us props. You know, he said too that we treated him nothing but with fairness and things, and you know, I appreciate that, and I think that's part of it. With this community, we have a great opportunity, especially with it blowing up and being as popular as it is, to use this as something we can unite and enjoy together. But you know, also one of the fun things about comic books was disagreeing. You know, before we got into as much technology and stuff, we would talk about it together if it was in a playground or whatever. Oh, Hulk could beat Superman or vice versa. And you know, those were the conversations.
Yeah.
And now that we have more connection with the artist, I think it's diluted a little bit that and is focused more on, well, what's this artist done that pissed me off? And don't get me wrong, I am absolutely guilty of that too. Because, you know, I watch some things, but I do, you know, for some reasons, because some people will say, well, they're just comics.
Yeah, they're fictional characters.
Right. And I understand that. I truly do. But I also look at it this way. I learned to read on comic books, you know, and I was poor and I learned how to read. And that was my escapism. That was my fiction. And the things that I read, and if I was to, I can't read what's out today to my kids. I can't do it. I would not feel comfortable doing that. With the way they do things. Now, granted, there is some other issues there, and I'll talk about it a little bit. But I don't feel I could. And I know we can't roll back the clock. I realize that. I'm not one of those get off my lawn. Well, I sort of am. Get off my lawn ain't what I used to be. Yeah. But it is what it is. And why can't comics be like they used to? In a way of what I mean by is having good art, good stories, and have messages that make you think.
Yeah.
Rather than telling me how to think, and if I don't agree, I'm wrong in some way, and I'm evil. You know. Yeah. And I've mentioned in other videos, we've had politics in comics. It's just, it was sometimes more subtle. It was written better, and sometimes it wasn't flat out. If you don't like this, you're evil.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not right.
No, it's not. The biggest problem that I think that I have currently is the more. Well, especially with what recently just went down, the more they continue to attack either diversity in comics or anybody else and putting them on like ban lists or whatever the case is, at this point I have to ask the all important question: do you even want an audience? Because everyone is on social media at this point, pretty much. There's almost the only people who aren't are probably much older individuals like my mom who wants nothing to do with it. So it's like everybody who's a fan has probably got their eyes on this. And it's like, do you want to continue to not only divide the audience further, but make it so that they don't want anything to do with you at all? I think we talked about it last time in my hangout. It's like, this will only get worse. If you keep doing stuff like this, not only will you not have an audience, nobody will want to interact with you at all.
Right. And Gad Ramon in the comments brought up a great point. He said, and he sort of questioned himself a little bit there. He said, I think the mistake is both sides are making it is that everyone on both sides assumes that there isn't room for everybody. And he said, maybe not everyone, loudest voices. And that's the thing. There is room for a lot of people as long as they tell good stories. I don't think there's anybody out there that wants that book to be bad. In all honesty, except for people who are making massive views on it, maybe because it's so bad. But the people that read the previous books with her in it actually somewhat like that character. I wouldn't say she was a top tier favorite character of mine, but I didn't dislike her at all. I thought she was interesting.
Exactly.
So, who's on with Captain? Oh, just in case he popped back in, you didn't know it, and you're just coming in now. Nightwolf Games is with me right now. Ingleteen still isn't here. I hope he's okay. So, okay, and Joshua Doortree brought up a thing here. He says, here's a point. I'm tired of hearing, if you don't like it, read something else. At this point, what's left? That's what this discussion of culture war needs to happen. You're right, that is what happened. There isn't much out there, and look what happened to Marvel sales.
Yeah. I think that was the same argument that Crumple Point made in one of his videos, I think like almost about a week or so ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. He did that video, and he made that exact point. It's like, if you don't like it, don't read it. It's like, well, what if I wanted to like it, but I don't want to read it because it was terrible? And when I tried to tell the creators it was terrible, they shut me out of the conversation entirely or just didn't listen to me.
Right. And Comic Boom mentions when both sides intentionally insult the other person's character, no meaningful debate can be had. And you're absolutely right. If you say you don't like something about the book, the first thing usually is, well, you're a dick, don't read it. But also we have to be careful how we come to them as well. I don't like this. And why? What did you dislike about that?
Yeah.
And as some mentioned too, and I've mentioned in videos as well, the price point. At the price point they are right now, it's no longer a cheap disposable income buy. It's something you're going to want to be more informed about.
Yeah.
In the past Nightwolf, let's just say 2 years ago, Ron, how many comic books did you buy a month?
Well, how many years do you want me to go back?
Give a couple. That's fine.
Well, due to the inconsistency of how many comic shops I have in my area, let's see. If we go back to like probably about 2008 to 2010, when I think the last shop was here, I was buying a lot of. I couldn't afford them eventually, but for a while I was buying at least. I'd say about maybe. I had at least maybe 5 or 7 titles in my box.
Okay. And how many do you have on average now?
Well, considering my shop closed, the shop's closed again, so no more comic books for Wolf. He has to live alone in a desert oasis. But before then, it was like I had mainly DC titles.
Okay.
And even that was overly expensive because I was like, I wanted to read as much as possible, and I overextended my funding, so I ended up with lots of back issues and things just not working. So it was like my budget normally is I try and at least spend about maybe $20 on comics.
Okay.
A given month. And with how much they cost currently, Marvel-wise, I could only buy like maybe 4.
Right.
With the DC titles, most of them that I was buying, which were $2.99, that would be like maybe slightly above 4. It'd be like maybe 6, maybe.
So you didn't have a choice but to be selective.
Exactly.
You really didn't. My wife and I, because my wife loves collecting them too, I'd say as short as a period of time as 2 years ago, we were trying to keep hard just to keep it at 10 issues a month and below.
Yeah.
And the majority of them, usually it's like 8 to 9 of those 10 were Marvel books. Now I get maybe 1 Marvel book a month.
Yeah.
And you know, and that's something I really want to point out. When people come at me, well, you just hate Marvel and all that. I go, what? I have like, I have near probably 9,000 Marvel comic books.
If I ever hear someone tell me that, like, oh, you just hate Marvel comics, I'm like, do I have to like pull out not only one long box, but one gigantic tub full of Spider-Man and Avengers and a bunch of other Marvel titles? Do I have to go do that right now? Because I'm really lazy and don't want to do that because they're heavy.
Right. I'm thinking about going into my comic book room that we have in our house. Now, granted, but it's not done yet because we're moving it. We moved our comic book room. We transitioned that to something else and moved another room to the comic book room. So it's still in transition. So I might show that because it's a mess. It's filled with toys and all kinds of that crap, and it's predominantly Marvel. And it's like, yeah, I hate Marvel. And see, that's what I'm trying to tell you. It's actually the opposite. I want Marvel to be where I want to buy their product. And that's a weird dynamic. Who's like, I want this company to take my money, please. Usually they're like, we want you guys to buy our stuff. And we're like, yeah, I want to buy your stuff too. Give me something I want. Now, another point I think is very important here is Rudist Hazard here. She said, what gets under my skin is the bigotry defense. And she's absolutely right. You know, I'm so tired of that. And Gad Ramona afterwards says, and half the time they're using bigotry to make the point against bigotry. It's weird.
Yeah. I think that at least on one video, I got the comment of, I don't know if I've said this before, but calling me racist and whatnot. It's like, or saying like, oh, DC doesn't have any diverse characters. I'm like, are you looking at the current lineup like I am? I'm like, I could pull it up right now. And I could pretty much pull out at least a half dozen titles where the main character is neither white nor straight. and I actually went off on a tirade with that particular comment. I'm like, okay, here, let me run down the list. And then he said, it's like, oh, well, some of those aren't main titles. I'm like, did you ignore Blue Beetle?
Well,
did you ignore Green Lanterns? Batwoman?
And as we were saying, the very people that are calling us these bad things are actually it themselves. Correct me if I'm wrong, Rudist Hazard. You're the one today that hopped into my Twitter, and the guy called you a sock puppet pretending that you were me. Or that saying I was pretending to be you. It's like, come on. You know, this is ridiculous. Sorry, I meant to say he. But that's just, I mean, come on. Just because somebody agrees with you automatically, yep, you're a sock puppet account. Jeez. Give me a break. They're so full of themselves, they can't believe that there's more than that one person that believes something different than them. And that person came at me out of the blue just because I put, about an artist and how they came at me.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was, I'm this bad person. It's like, are you kidding me? I called him out as a hypocrite. So I feel sorry for it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I find it really irritating, to say the least, when so many people want you to buy a product, but they're not willing to actually listen to the forms of criticism that people give. I have no problem with any new characters that Marvel would come up with. It's like, I've always been of the mindset is the reason to do this for the right reason? Do you want to create a new character? And if that's the case, you want that character to stand on their own and whatnot. Are you doing it for the proper motivation? And then currently with Marvel, it's not for the right motivation. It's to fill in check boxes to, it's like, oh, look at us. Look how diverse we're getting. And it's like, and they're doing it also just to piss people off. Oh, so sure. You're doing it twice as bad as anything else. It's like, oh, we want to be diverse, but we also want to piss off the audience so much that they hate our guts. It's like, that's not a good business model. It doesn't work.
It actually does temporarily in most cases, but it doesn't work long term. The other thing that really bugs me partially too is they're using diversity as a marketing tool. So they're using minorities as a marketing tool, and that bugs me. Because if you're a diverse person, they've created a character just for you to get media attention shortly. Really? They didn't care about the character. They didn't care about anything else. All they cared about is that one note about them. And that's shameful.
Riri Williams, anybody?
Yeah. Riri's a great example of that. And they didn't used to be that way. Think about how Daredevil has impacted blind people. Blind people used to write that book and everything. You maybe feel like I'm special. I can do things. We don't get that anymore. You know, and I say that because I have a friend that's blind.
I had a dad my dad was blind, so Daredevil is a very relatable character to me in a lot of ways. I have never really read a lot of the comics myself because I was more into Spider-Man, but Daredevil's a good character, and he's one that's very relatable to people who have like blind family members and can understand a lot of the things that they go through. So
Absolutely. You know, and I've had a lot of chats with this guy because how I met him is I was looking for a drummer for my band at the time, and I also needed a studio drummer to do some of my studio sessions for me for some paid gigs I was doing on the side for radio sweepers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't do that anymore, just for the record. I've been out of the game for a while. But anyway, so I met this guy online because I put out an ad for that, and we were talking. He's like, I just want you to know ahead, you know, I'm blind and things. I said, I don't care if you're blind, as long as you can get to the gigs and you can show up to the studio and record your parts. I don't care. All I care is that you can do the job. And here's the kicker, and this really did sadden me a lot afterwards, because I said, I always go and meet somebody before I take them into my studio, you know, on that. And he goes, just so you know, before we meet, I want you to know I'm black. I said, so what? And he goes, you wouldn't believe this. He said, I've had a couple occasions where I was set up to go and rehearse with this band and try out, and they said, oh, we don't want you because of that. And to me, I was like, they could overlook being blind, but they couldn't overlook you being black. And that sickens me. I mean, that was just ridiculous. You know, granted, we're not in the 1940s and things anymore. I think we've grown a lot past that. But still some of that extremism mentality exists. And it is just sad. You know? So it's not that kind of thing. And, you know, I have friends, all kinds of different things. And so when somebody calls me a bigot or something like that, that does aggravate me. It's like, are you kidding me?
It pisses me off, too. It's like, do you have any idea how many different friends I've had who are of different nationalities and backgrounds, or whose family were?
Right. I have nothing against that color of their skin or whatever it is in that comic book. If the comic book sucks, it's because I think it sucks, and that's just plain and simple. I mentioned it before, and I've been getting attacked a lot on Twitter and things lately. And they're like, "Well, you said you read Luke Cage when you grew up and stuff like that." Yeah, I did. I like those characters. So now, well, you're just saying that. It's like, no, I have the comics to back it up too, and the history with those characters.
Yeah.
And just like you guys are saying here, you disagree, you must hate X, Y, or Z or whatever, because it's the easy defense. It's rather than, well, explain why you think the product's good. Let's have that discussion. But no, instead, it's easier to vilify the person rather than constructive criticism. And I'm going to say, I've wrote my share. I'm published. I got a stack of books up there. Granted, the stuff I publish, most people don't want to read. You know, mine's in the academia fields. So you read my stuff to learn in college and things like that. So, but, you know, I've had people go, you know, I like this, but this chapter was rough to understand. I wish this was worded better. And I don't go, well, screw you. I say, okay, how can I make this better? Yeah. Let's make this so you can learn from this. And I'm going to take that because I want that fresh set of different eyes to look at it that, you know, other than mine. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm someone who likes to write on occasion. I also like to draw and whatnot. And I've shared stuff on Twitter in the past, like, okay, these are some rough sketches of stuff I'm working on. Please critique. Tell me, how can I make it better? And I always get critiques. It's like, okay, here you go. It's like, you could do this better, or here's some more reference photos that could help you in the future. And it's like, thank you. I appreciate that. That's what I want. That's what I'm seeking. I don't want someone just to kiss my ass and say that it's the greatest shit ever. I want someone to actually tell me that it's terrible, to go back to the drawing board and try again.
Right. Now, I'm going to play devil's advocate, though. The customer is not always right. Well, that is a fictitious statement. They are right to a degree. You have to please the customer, or they're not coming back. There is such a thing as a customer becomes too expensive to maintain, and a company will look at the lifetime value of the customer. And sometimes you do have to let a customer go because you just can't please them, and there's going to be no profit to be gained. But I can't see that in this case for most of the industry, especially when the people with the disposable income buying their books for their kids are going to help that next generation grow, and they're really missing it. And I'm sorry, it's going to take more than Scholastic. They can brag about Scholastic all you want. I've been around Scholastic in schools and things. They're not selling great off those shelves either. They're selling okay. but they're not like, oh, everyone's like, oh, where's Squirrel Girl on here and where's Devil Dinosaur? Yeah, they're selling some, but it's they love to brag about the sales that they don't have to show. Well, Comic-Con shows this and things because they're showing what they've sold to the stores, so they're reporting that. But they don't show what's actually off the store shelves. They don't listen to the comic store saying we got extra, and they don't show. They always talk about digital sales and things that they can't prove. Well, yeah, that's why, because that's their escapism. And I find it very hard to believe, and I'm going to be a little speculative here, that I don't think that the digital sales are all that astronomical. I think women read more digital than men do, but the sales still aren't skyrocketing above the traditional paper.
I mean, it would be nice to know if it was or not,
Yeah.
But those websites don't share their numbers.
Right. And they don't have to.
Well, no, they don't have to, but sharing them would definitely, help improving your case more.
Now, I'm not a great fiction writer. I am a piss poor fiction writer. I'm going to say that right off the bat. I am a boring writer. As I said, I have a very technical writing style. So it doesn't lend well to that. But what I'm getting at with, you don't always have to do what the customer wants, but you do have to bring it to something they like. And by teasing them with what they want and creating those things of, oh, come on, will this happen? Will that happen? Is what brings you back. Not, this is pissing me off for a year. You can be pissed off for an issue or two. Come on, my hero's getting beat down or whatever. And you're going to come back. But after it's like a year and you're like, come on, will this ever happen? You start to lose the fan base. I mean, it might have been different if it didn't cost you much. But like you said, Nightwolf, these things cost so much. You're spending $50 before it gets to the point.
Yeah, and well, I mean, like I was talking before the live stream started with the review I did for the manga volume I just reviewed earlier this week. It's a lot easier for me to go out and pick that up opposed to anything else. Actually, hold on a second. Let me look at something real quick. Mm-hmm. You can talk.
All right. So let's see. This says, I feel like LGBT folk are at the top of the SJW grievance hierarchy because there are so few of us. And that, that's a good point. It could be that makes it easier to put words in our mouth without opposition. That's a great point. And let me ask you, how do you feel when they speak for you? They think they know what you want and what you like, and they speak for you. They are your shield. Is that okay with you for that? I'm not trying to pick up the hey, guess who just popped in, by the way? I Love Comics. Ingleteen is now here.
Hey, kids. How's it going?
It's going good, man.
Yep. I was supposed to be here earlier, but my daughter, they still don't have power. So she calls me up and says, can you come and get me? I say, yeah. And on our drive over, we got an email saying that they got their power back. So
okay, good. And
it worked out.
All right, I just want to respond to the comments real quick. It says, Rudis, I just want to say thank you for sharing that view, that it's infuriating to you. I think that's important for people to hear, that not everybody speaks for you. Just like I'm a white male, but every white male does not represent me.
Yeah.
All right, so I Love Comics. I'm going to give you the floor a little bit. I apologize. I just wanted to make sure I finished addressing that question I asked.
Well, you know where you are right now. I have no idea. So, I'm still loading up.
Okay.
Well, I was talking a little bit, but I needed to search the book up real quick, which was the book I reviewed earlier this week, which is the Mobile Suit Gundam Lost War Chronicle Volume 1. This is basically it's a trade. It's in paperback. Right now, currently on Amazon, everybody can pick up this book for $10.
Okay. And how many pages is it?
I don't know. It's 3 chapters. I know that. Page count. Is there a page count on this thing somewhere? Okay, there has to be a page count. 144 pages.
Yeah. Now, and look at right now, Marvel's pretty much about giving books away on Amazon. If they were selling that great, would they be selling them that cheap?
You would think if there was a demand.
Yeah.
So now that we got Ingleteen,
but I can understand them. Oh, I can understand if they would be selling like the first of a series. Mm-hmm. Like Captain Marvel Volume 1 for 50 cents.
Get them hooked.
So long as they were giving you 40 cents back, that might be worth it.
Yeah.
But if they were selling the very first volume, I can understand. But if they're just doing the whole thing,
right?
Then
I think the first volume cheap is a great idea because that way somebody can go, okay, I can test this out for that much. I'm not going to test it out at $3.99. I'll test it out for 99 cents. You know,
yeah. Give it. What is this? Riri Ironheart Volume 1, $1.80.
Yeah, overpriced.
Still too much. Way too much.
So, Engeltine, ultimate goal is we wanted to get you in and let you. I wanted to open the floor to you a little bit about the situation currently going on and what were your thoughts that you wanted to share on that.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to host this for tonight, but here's okay. First of all, everybody needs to understand that we don't know everything.
I don't know when I'm kidding. That's fair.
Well, no, what I was saying is when all of this was going on, I was talking to Cummings and I was talking to Diversity, and well, basically they were giving information as it happened. And at this point, the only two people who absolutely know what's going to happen are Mark Waid. So it's best that we don't jump to conclusions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
About what's going to happen. Now, I will be surprised if Mark Waid actually meets with him.
Well, here's since then there's been some other things. Diversity in Comics is not going to that Comic-Con. But what I believe is going to happen is they're going to have a Skype or something, some kind of virtual discussion.
Yeah, that was the plan.
Right.
Yeah, that was decided on the day of yesterday.
And I believe there's already been one with Captain Cummings and Mark Waid, I believe. I could be wrong.
What happened was Captain Cummings set it up, but there were technical issues. He said he was face-to-face with them, but something happened and it dropped. Right. But that's what I'm saying. At this point, it's all speculation as to what's going to happen. Now, what did happen, he posted something on his Facebook, and right away, volunteer to be a part of this Go Get Them posse. And what really scared me wasn't, yeah, it's bad that they mentioned Diversity, but they also mentioned all of his friends.
Right.
That's us, guys. That's us.
Yeah.
This is not.
So they've been targeting me pretty hard.
Yesterday, I asked a question. It was kind of rhetorical, but you answered it anyway. And the question was, okay, so who's next? But the truth is once they get Diversity, it'll be Cummings, and then Ernst, then maybe Mim and Nurkish, me, you, whoever.
Yeah.
So basically, we have to confront this, but we have to do it in such a way that they can't take us out like they want to.
Right. So we can't be stupid. We can't say bad things that are going to get us knocked off. We have to represent ourselves as one approved, is what I say. In a manner by asking questions and being kind and considerate, and allow them to show their true colors of who they really are.
Mm.
And
you know what, Billy Dank? I'm going to tell them I'm black too. Why not? Let's all play the race card.
Okay.
Just look them straight in the eye. If you are lily white Scottish, look them straight in the eye and say it's because I'm black, ain't it? Let them figure it out.
Yeah,
that ain't our problem, man.
Sonic brought up a question I wanted to address. He said, for us, you guys, I want to know your thoughts on this. Do you think that we're in the second dark age of comics, or is Diversity in Comics right that American comics are dead?
We're in dark age. I would not say American comics are dead. No,
I would not either. If there's still interest, they're not dead. It's just in a very bad place.
Now, we may be buying comics differently. I see as we go, floppies are going to go the way of the dinosaur. You're going to have it on digital, and then the trade paperbacks are going to be what's in stores mostly.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't have a crystal ball, but that's my idea of what's going to happen. Are comics dead? No, but I'm sure that in my lifetime, anyway, we will see some sort of change on how we read them,
right?
At the very least.
And then there is other problems too. And it was mentioned in the boards, and that's something I wanted to bring up as well. There is piracy. There's digital piracy, and that's going to hurt the sales. Plain and simple. We've had that in the music industry as well. I had a music song that I did, and somebody took that and put it up on one of the share things for a ringtone. I would have got 10 grand off of that thing. You know, granted, I could have ranted and raved I lost 10 grand because somebody did that, but I was just thankful somebody wanted to hear it. You know?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, the problem with even digital comics is they're selling them for $3.99, $4.99.
Yeah, this is very similar to
now we know. Yeah, and the thing is we know that the music industry started selling songs, individual songs, for 99 cents, $2 if they're brand new, or however much. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But the price was not, it lowered on individual songs, and that's what has to happen for comic books.
Well, I'm gonna run something a little counter to that from a business perspective. If you sell the same
you are the
product
money man.
in a digital form for 99 cents, their thought is this: who's going to buy the paper version for $3.99? They cannibalize their own sales and hurt their own profit. Also, then
that's
you have
why I
don't want that either, because that's going to destroy comic shops as well. So it creates a whole new dynamic.
That is true. But the thing is I do believe that's the direction we're going in.
I wouldn't doubt it. Look at Amazon. Look at how big Amazon has become. Amazon is so big now. Cole struck a deal with Amazon to accept their returns and sell some of their products.
Wow,
that's telling you the.
I do not want to see the comic shop, of course, go the way of the dodo. I love going to the comic shop and joking around. I'm really surprised at the fact that comics seem to be just one small part of a large comic shop. I mean, we call it the comic shop, but it's got games, it's got action figures, and all sorts of stuff. And sometimes they've got a place for you to play those games.
Now, somebody mentioned too, and he's absolutely right. He said volume of sales is legitimate means to increase profit. Also, with digital, it doesn't really cost them near as much because they don't have to have the risk also of printing things that aren't going to be used. It's actually just digital, so as long as they can store it. So on server-wise, for somebody to get there, okay. So they can actually decrease sales and still make more profit. And with a lower price point, they probably could potentially sell more. And that's probably the way of the future. It's just like the music industry, they have to find a way to make that transition. And that's a tough call. And then comic shops too, maybe they need to start doing the digital comics. You buy comics in the shop, you get additional digital to pump it that way, to try to do both. That's some tough questions.
Let's see, Yardif Bay, the comic collectors market was only alive because anytime they tried to create a collector's item, already manufactured. Collector's items come from supply and demand. It's got to come naturally, and that's one of the things that a lot of times you'll see modern day comics. What was the last one? God's Country. What was Moon Girl was inflated really quickly because it sold out. The difference between a lot of these and the older ones is it happened naturally. It's got to be we're searching for it rather than them telling us. It's a comic.
And I'm going to bring up another point. I think they're missing right now. They're trying to get a younger market, and I understand that. And that younger market tends to currently sway more liberal. But the ones with the income, the disposable income to buy this product, is not that group right now. So that's going to cause potential sacrifice with that as well.
What they want is they want to.
Did you want? I can continue after you're done if you want to interject.
Well, I was going to say they seem to be their focus audience should be stuff that we would like to buy for our children.
Exactly. And they're starting to do that more kid-friendly stuff. And Gad, I know you're hitting exactly what I was about to say. When I said the current younger group is a lot more liberal, then you go one little bit shift past that. The newer generation after that are highly conservative. And that's the point I was going to get to. They're going to try to shift to this liberal group, and they're losing the whole big group that's conservative. And here's the kicker: this new group that's going to be conservative is bigger than the baby boomer generation. That is a huge group they should target to get, and they're missing the boat completely.
Yeah.
So, and so what they need to do is create that cross. Maybe do some books for kids, some books for adults, books that adults can read with their kids. That way they can continue to foster that dynamic, because how else are they going to get into comics rather than watching a movie and seeing it on a grocery store shelf and picking it up?
Yeah.
And it's been mentioned here, like we've mentioned before, grocery stores, things like that. And they're starting to get a little smarter with the digest, but still, those are reprints. I mean, what we need to have that connection. If you pull that book off the shelf after seeing the movie and it's Riri Williams, it's not the same.
Yep. And I cannot believe Doug did that to me, man.
What did he do to you?
I'm filming a video. I'm filming with a video about my nephew about this whole thing.
Oh, that.
And he literally goes, "Oh yeah," and they go. If I'm like, "That's the whole plot." Oh shit.
Well, if it makes you feel better, you put up your video right when mine got done rendering this that I was about to put up about the current situation.
Yeah, well, actually, that was before this. I have not done. I haven't done mine yet on what happened with Mark Wade because I wanted to make sure I had everything. See, I went to before even Doug and Diversity. Before Diversity and Philip. Sorry, Captain Cummings showed up. Sorry, Captain. I was on Facebook and I was talking to Wade. I said, "Dude, what the hell's going on here?" And I talked to Tom Brevoort. I was like, "You have to denounce this."
Yeah.
Because the way Mark Wade did it, and Tom Brevoort retweeted it, that is endorsing what he said. If somebody gets attacked at a Comic-Con now because of what Mark Wade said, Marvel is liable.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was trying. He blocked me because I said that.
Well, of course they've got to cover their tracks now because you look at
the freaking hell is it? Well, they're not covering their track. Everybody and their brother has a copy of that tweet now.
Well, yeah, but you see what Mark Wade after that. After that, Mark Wade said he was trying to create. He wants to talk. Which, if you flip
I was part of that.
Talk. And here's my point of that too: is if this is a writer, a professional writer, and he writes it that way, he should have been able to write it in the way we understood that he wanted to talk. Because that did not seem like I want to talk.
There is a reason why he's nominated for Fallen from Grace.
Right. Which is a shame because he's done some great
work. Yeah, he's done some great work. Now, the thing is, there's a woman who is dangerous. I mean, like, I am afraid of this person. What is her name? Susan something or other? Susan Auger.
Mm-hmm.
I spoke to Wade. I said, first I talked to Tom Brevoort because I thought that was the most important. Get Marvel out of this. But then I said to Wade, I said, now listen, you said Diversity and his friends. That's us. Now I go to the Comic-Cons with my daughters. Now, should I be afraid of my family if I wear an I Love Comics or something that makes it aware of my YouTube channel? Oh, I just wanted to. But the problem, he said he just wanted to talk. But the problem is the followers, his followers, were lighting the torches.
Right.
And that's the problem. Even, sorry, I'm kind of fired up here.
That's why I have you here. I want you here for this.
We know, as YouTube creators, we know that sometimes we can say something and we get a comment in our comment section that's like, "Did you actually watch the video?" Like I'll do a video about someone, and I'll say, it was really bad that this happened, blah blah blah, and I'll say something along the lines of, "But we have to do this." I always try to see both sides, and then I'll get a comment of, "Oh, that bitch should die." It's like that was not the message.
Well, I get that too. I did one just recently about being kind to one another versus, well, F Marvel, they should all die. It's like, are you kidding me? Did you not get what I just said? I don't want Marvel to go out of business. I want them to get better. I want to like their products again.
We need a shift in Marvel hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
That's for certain. But yeah, that's the problem. Anybody who is anywhere in the public knows that sometimes someone will take your message wrong.
Right. And this is,
I'm sorry, they never do.
I mentioned this.
They never do.
And I mentioned there's extremism on both sides, and I've been called out for that. Oh no, there's not. Did you not get what I just said?
I wanted to
dissent and not be violent.
I wanted to change my titles. Get off the SJW Marvel, SJW. I mean, I could make a yeah, and I watched this movie. He's screw SJW Marvel. I don't need to put that in every title.
Right.
And I mentioned I don't want to do that. And somebody's threatened to unsubscribe because I wasn't going to. I was wait a second. I'm not like cowtailing to Marvel. I'm just dropping the title SJW out of it. You know, it's just
right.
Yeah, I'm going to stand up against him. So yeah, some really are.
And the Nerd Wonder mentioned that First Day Comics sometimes goes insane with rantings and ravings with slurs and junk. And sure, I'm sure he goes overboard on some things. I agree with that. He says things that I wouldn't say. No, I'm not saying I'm perfect, because I even mentioned in my last video, I put up something I sort of felt slimy after doing, and I took it off, though I almost put it back up because of a comic artist pissing me off. Because I didn't take it off because of you. I took it off because I felt, it was the right thing to do. But you're swearing at me and calling me all kinds of things makes me want to put it back up again.
Yeah, not a good idea.
I have to hold Chef Jack back. He's the one. There's a reason. I love. I've got to credit Eduardo Lopez. He's the one that drew our profile. And I love the fact that he did Orion and Mr. Miracle, because one can talk their way out of everything. That's me. And the other one is high-tempered, and that's Jack. And he really, really wants to go after, because he sees the fact that they do sometimes use salty language, and he really wants to go after them. I'm like, okay, look, guys, we have to change our tactics. And Jack wants to say, shut the up with all that and he just wants to go off.
And he's a nice guy, though. And by the way, how's his toe? Is he doing okay?
He's fine. He dropped like a whole bunch of chicken on his foot.
Yeah, that's what he said. So
it was frozen, but that's just kind of funny to say.
Yeah,
he really does. Yeah, when he heard that people were putting out porn pictures and all sorts of stuff, he just wanted to go, "What the?" And you act like grown-ups, and they just go off and yell.
Well, that happened, and that was terrible, because a couple of I was in this discussion just for I want to make sure I make this point known, and it actually had drunk comics in it. We cheap shot at each other a little bit, but it was in good taste and good humor, and we were actually having a good discussion. And then a guy, and he legitimately likes Heather Antos. He thinks evidently she's beautiful and stuff, but the kind of ways he was starting to put up pictures and the things he was putting was getting, it was just not something I was comfortable with, and I don't think should have been done. I'm not calling him out, calling him bad. I'm not going to do that, but it was not something I'm comfortable with. And so then a few of us did voice that, and he was a little aggravated at first, and then he backed off and got rid of them. I think maybe he was a little embarrassed. I don't know. I don't want to put words in his mouth or
right. I don't know why. So I tried having a discussion with him, but it didn't really go as well as I was hoping, because shit stressed me out more so than it needed to. That's
right, sure. And that's the problem. That's the last thing we need right now, because then that just plays right into their hands of anybody that wants to call us a name, because now they have at me and at Ingleton and Ernst and stuff. We were in that, and we didn't have really any part of that.
Oh, they have my real name now.
Do they?
Because when I talk to them on Facebook with my real name, so they know. But the thing is, I saw in the Mags did threaten somebody with a baseball bat.
Yeah, absolutely.
Susan Auger is the one who doxed diversity for Heather Antos.
Right.
The problem is if they are yelling and screaming, "Oh, I'm going to beat you down with a baseball bat. I hate cisgender," and they're looking crazy. If we can go up and we can say, "Well, here's the facts, and this is what we're really about," then they're looking crazy. We're looking good. I'm not saying don't go after them.
No.
I'm just saying make sure that they're the ones that are looking.
I will continue. I will call somebody out. I called Ron Mars out and things, and I will continue. I've called Dan Stott out a lot, and I'm going to continue to do that. But you notice I don't swear at them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I will call them out on what they do, and I like to ask questions, and they still block me. I was like, "What? Why did you do this? Why do you think this? How do you think this is going to be proactive for the community?" Boom, block. It's like, okay.
Well, with Ron Mars, I actually showed him like the rules about harassment on Twitter. I was like, here, You do realize you're breaking the rules, right?
He did harass him. What diversity? That's his name. Dang it.
He doesn't talk to you. He talks at you.
Yeah.
You know, like he's above you.
This is harassment. You're breaking the rules.
Right.
And then a bunch of people reported him. I don't think anything came of it, but
I'll tell you. I
even reported him because it's like, this is harassment. This is a hate campaign against a bunch of people who just want to have a conversation about comic books and don't like some of the direction that some of these creators take.
Right. Now, you can't report somebody if you're blocked by him, right? Because I can't report him because he blocked me a long time ago.
Well, I reported him, and I don't know if I'm blocked, so maybe I should look that up real quick. Let's check. Let's find out. We're here live on the show.
But he blocked me well over a year ago, actually a couple now. He was tweeting some stuff about what was going on in a current situation that was stressful. He was massive, with his thousands of followers, getting him excited over something, and I stated pretty much, and
surprisingly no.
Okay, and I wrote, please stop doing that. Let's wait until we have the facts, because he was retweeting things, and we found out he was wrong. Of course, he never admitted that. He was the police are gassing these people and removing the video cameras from the news organization stuff. When the truth, we found out what happened is, they were told to leave the area. They had to gas it for their safety, and they were going to go in and get their cameras for them. Now, that's a huge difference, and he pissed at me, and he just went at me on a tear. And I was like, hey, block away, buddy.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised he didn't block me.
Yeah.
I had a nice experience today. I'm watching Diversity in Comics starts talking to this girl, J.A. Michelin, I think. Something like that. She's a writer, and it's kind of funny because I'm watching this, and it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Now, I love to debate.
Mm-hmm.
And she says something, and she's like, are you ready for your day of cowardice or something like that? And Diversity says, well, email me. She goes, no, we're good here. Else is like, oh, he's got a job. And she's like, no, I'm fine. So I started going, okay, tactic number one. He asked to change the format. She says no. Now you guys chase her. She controls the conversation. And it goes down. And it's like tactic two. And I kept pointing out what she was doing to them. And it was kind of funny because there was like Nurkish and Diversity and a few others. Controlled the conversation all the way down, and I pointed out, I said, guys, you're losing the debate because she's the only one here that doesn't care. And she sends this thing that goes, that's right. And all throughout, I read later, she's like, listen to this guy, he's smart, you should pay attention to him. So I did a little Sam Elliott tip of the hat to her because I got to respect when debate's done right, and she did it right. And, it was a beautiful thing. I love a strong, smart woman. That's all I got to say. It's a sexy thing. There you go.
No, I can't say I like debating with my wife. I think we've been
that's
married,
a whole different thing.
I think we've been married 17 years, and she's only admitted to being wrong, I think, twice. So,
Isn't that normally how it is?
My wife is very strong-willed, and I love her for it. Absolutely. I'm not a violent.
I think
most of the married couples I know, that's like, yes, the husbands are always saying it. It's like, okay, yes, honey, I know I'm wrong. Moving on.
A happy marriage is a marriage where the man believes he married up.
Yep.
I absolutely believe that.
My wife is brilliant, and I'm glad she puts up with me. Yeah, we have wonderful kids, so that's all I can say, and I'm very happy. I'll take my hits. So, I don't think this comic industry is dead. I think it's going to need to hurt a little bit before it gets better.
Yeah.
And like
it might.
There's problems on both ends.
And man, I can't wait to share those the Facebook conversation with everybody, because that was really something that was illuminating how the industry really is separated.
Oh yeah,
It's divided. I would love. I wish that that Doug or me were in on this, as well, because I don't know. He's a reporter. I'm an orator. You know, I'm an orator. So I would love for us to be a part of that as well. Because my goodness,
I would love to too, but you know, it's because of my I'm not a reporter in background though. But
your business, that would be awesome to have in our corner. Are you kidding me?
In one of the businesses I used to run a comic shop, and I sold it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I ran a small comic shop, and I sold
so
the business.
And you would come from that particular angle. I mean, that would be so cool.
And
you know what would be?
I had a discussion with a guy who wrote the Devil Dinosaur, and he's starting to go, well, there's all this, that. I said, yeah, I know. I've done this before. And you forgot about this and that. And so all of a sudden he stopped trying to skew the argument all of a sudden. I'm not going to say I know everything, because that was a long time ago, and things have changed since then. But I'm not stupid in that area either.
Now I don't want to. I'm not trying. I guess what's the word? Casting shade or anything? It's just I would love for this to be a panel more than just a private thing, especially since one of them is a writer. You know, I mean, Mark Wade can make words. I mean, that's what he does. Yeah. So I'm very interested to see how this goes. I'm kind of worried. I don't want to say anything disrespectful about DNC. It's just that I really I would love to be a part of this. It's just.
Well, you know, I was thinking about that too. As in a panel, I would love to be able to have, like, some of us YouTube critics, if you will, have a panel at a Comic-Con, and that way
that would be really cool.
Our thoughts is
nostalgia and criticism. Why not start a blog site, have fans write on it, and push good pieces out? Actually, that is being talked about right now. There are some works where we're seeing how it can be done. It's a little bit too early to say yes, but you know, we're actually checking that out.
Right, and I've been approached by that as well. Go ahead, Nightwolf.
If we do a panel, one recommendation: let's not do it at Rose City Comic Con.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, I flipped. I'm like, really? Oh my gosh!
Well,
is that the one that's no
Hydra?
Nothing.
No Hydra. No Nazis.
Wait, no. Didn't it say like nothing that offends people?
No.
Call them out.
No, it said that you can't have. It said no Nazis and no Hydra, or no Hydra Cap. You can't have Hydra Cap. You can't have Red Skull. You can't have any of that. It's like, while you're at it, why don't you just ban Captain America while you're at it? Just be done with it. Because I mean, if someone shows up as just normal Captain America, aren't people just gonna look at him like, is this the Hydra Cap?
I thought the reasoning was because it would trigger people and it was hurtful and all that kind of stuff. And then I thought, well, you don't want to put that on any rule, because somebody's going to come up and say, well, that guy, I'm religious, and that guy's dressed like Damian Hellstrom from Marvel Comics, and that represents evil and the devil. We can't have that. Well, you know what? That person's dressed like a Powerpuff Girl, and that's just pedophilia waiting to happen. I don't want that. Well, that person, you know, I mean, that if you put that kind of thing down on paper,
1 inch, they take a mile.
Right. It's an overreach.
I do like that just some guy actually recommended. It's like, okay, instead of dressing as Hydra agents, dress as Cobra instead. It's like, why not?
Secret Empire is so fail you can't cosplay at it, Mr. Unranked Chevron.
You're probably right. But still, people might still like dressing up as the Red Skull. Or a Hydra agent, like maybe dressing up as Bob or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
The one thing is like Rose City Comic Con. I'm like, which con is this? Because we have a few that go around in Portland. But this was one
I am freaking old, Rob. RDB, sorry. In my old eyes, that looks like Rob fan thing. So, yeah.
Well, I had a guy come at me today, and he's a nutbag. I mean, I'm not going to mention his name because I don't want to throw shade at him. And
I had a guy's nutbag come at me, and I was thinking, gee, I'm in the Publix. This is wrong. This is just wrong.
And this guy's like, well, I'd like to see you go to a comic shop or a Comic-Con and talk about SJWs. And it's like, actually, I have. And I've had very good discussions. For comic shops, I go to my comic shops and we talk, and they don't like it for the most part either. My website partner doesn't like it either, and he's on the left. He's a liberal. I said he says he's a leftist. I took some heat. I mean, he's a liberal, and he says it. Who cares how I said the word exactly? Yeah. And he goes to Comic Cons and he sells his product. He has booths and tables with his artwork and stuff at those, and he talks about how it's overdone too. Mm-hmm. and they tend to side with his political view. Didn't have any issue. So all the people, well, I'd like to see you do that. Well, we haven't had a problem.
I've talked to people in the comic shop we recently had about this type of stuff, and one of the guys, he was like, most of them were like, yeah, that's kind of stupid. One of the guy who was running it, the manager, he's actually Jewish and had family in the Holocaust. So it's like, okay, yep. I talked to him about like the Nazi camp stuff, and he's like, yeah, I'm not a fan of it either. It's pretty damn stupid.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really was, and the story sucked. And I'm not going to get started on it because
let's refrain.
No,
you've done it enough. Down.
Yeah.
Bad England.
But ultimately, what I find absolutely fascinating is if the market wasn't there, why is there so many people upset about this? If they did things right, how many potential buyers and customers could they win back? Granted, people like to complain. It's more popular, so it's not going to be 100%. That's guaranteed. It's not. And negativity does gain more attention than positivity. And
everybody with a YouTube channel knows that.
Yeah, and that's why I find if I put SJW on a title, it gets more views. But so I try to. I don't want everything to be SJW on it.
I remember one time I put, just for shits and giggles, I'd made a title called Trump's Lawyer Said I Had to Read This comic, something weird like that. I like to sometimes do ironic titles or just weird things I'll just toss out there. It's not really, I don't think of it as clickbait, but I guess it is, but it's just, okay.
And
90% of Seattle's population are SJWs. I can't speak for Seattle, but I can speak for Oregon. And say that at least in Portland, definitely.
Denise says we should have a meetup and then just call it a con. But and I'll tell you something I think would be great is to make a video at Islands of Adventure here at Universal Studios, Florida, right in Marvel land.
Well, you go there, it doesn't look the same as their comic books, that's for sure.
They don't own any of the properties for but I thought that would be so cool to make a video in Marvel Island, with some of the crew here. That would be really neat.
Well, in the comments, they got a great point. FanCon.
Okay,
put your own con, and just
Quintendo will have to do a Harry Potter one too. We'll have get all dressed up like that, I guess.
Not gonna happen for me. I have
what about Little Frugal?
I have never read him. I have never read or watched a Harry Potter book or movie, and I have not had them watch or look. I have nothing against them. I just haven't.
Okay, it's not a religious thing. Like, oh my gosh, witchcraft is it?
No, I just have had no desire to see it or read it at all.
Okay, that's cool. Hey, everybody's got their. I'm like that with Doctor Who. Yeah. I saw 3 episodes of Doctor Who since the 1970s. Every time I try it, it's great this time. Okay, you know what? I'm glad you love it, guys.
Yep.
I enjoy it. Or at least I used to enjoy it. I haven't been keeping up with it, so.
Everybody's got their thing. I'm sure I like something that everybody else would be like, oh, that sucks. So everybody's got their thing.
And Denise, I don't force my kids in anything like that. Matter of fact, if anything, I adopt off of them. My boy right now has been big into Pokemon, which I could care less about, but I'm learning all about Pokemon. And the game that he's into right now immensely is Plants vs. Zombies. So all I'm hearing is everything about Plants vs. Zombies and Pokemon.
Well, in this crowd, Doctor Who is not the greatest thing either. I'm not alone in my Doctor Who. Why is that popular? You know, that's my. But hey, you know, geekdom lives. That's what's important.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's in different forms. We're to like other things more than others. And if we don't like it, we should be able to voice that opinion. But don't forget, too, to voice the things you do like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, I got a great idea. Why don't we go to the next YouTube con, all of us dressed like adult versions of the Goonies?
Great.
Why not?
I've already got my get up.
You cheeky W.
I think I've got my get up, though, already if I go to these cons. Except this mask is going to be ranked by the time that's done.
Yeah, that would be the problem I would see, because I don't think they would allow you to wear the Captain America helmet. You would definitely have to come up with another disguise. Guys, I watched that the other day.
How many bet that the SJW will hate the Netflix Punisher? You know, to be determined. You never know if they'll put a spin on it.
It might just turn out to be an anti-gun show.
Yeah. It looks awesome so far, but I hope so. I hope it's good.
But otherwise, if it's any kind of pro, I mean, from what I understand, it's like he's going after the CIA, so that could be seen as he's going after the government.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so, because this is a thing.
Frank is now War Machine.
Yeah, Frank is
right.
Why?
Because Rhodey's dead. That's why.
Why? Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Let me
reiterate. Why?
Once again, you've got everybody getting pumped up for The Punisher on Netflix, and if they go to get a Punisher comic, what do they get? Something that's not
Iron
the
Man.
same. Why? And if they wanted somebody so bad in the War Machine armor, keep Rhodey alive. Rhodey was a good character. I mean, come on.
You know, actually, Arrow is one of those things that I end up liking more than other people, because I didn't have a problem. Now, what was the one with Dark? I like that version, but nobody else did. In Gotham.
I like Arrow.
As a show, I don't hear a lot of praise over, but I enjoy the hell out of Gotham. I love the fact that it's a different story. It's a different story. It's a different take on it.
Right.
So
I have to turn
why
my
do I want to
brain
read
off when I watch Gotham.
One of the reasons I stopped liking Walking Dead as much as I used to is now I know what's going to happen. I've got the books.
Mm-hmm.
Following their own. Now they're just following the books. I've got them.
To like Gotham, I have to turn my brain off on continuity, because I keep catching myself saying, that's not right. That doesn't fit. And I got to tell myself, it's not the same. Because every time I see Barbara Gordon, I think how are they ever going to get Barbara back to being a regular person? It's impossible at this point. And it's like they're not needing to.
Thing. It is its own show. Let it be its own show.
Exactly. And once I get that out of my head, I enjoy it.
That's what
Think about it as an Elseworlds.
Right.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. That's what I normally look at them as Elseworld stories or alternate timelines. It's like, this isn't the comic books. This isn't main continuity. They can tweak around with stuff, try some new things. I'm down for it. I enjoy watching Flash and Arrow.
It was like Smallville. Oh wait, Lois Lane didn't meet him in Smallville. Well, you know, it's its own thing. Let it be its own thing. We've got the comic books already.
Right. I love
the comics.
Smallville.
The comics. Me too. I thought it was pretty cool. Season 9.
Season 9 is
the last couple seasons.
Everybody was acting out a character in 9.
You know, what I had a lot of hope
Batman.
for. The one I had a lot of hope for that failed it for me was Supergirl. It had so much going for it, and I've talked about it in a little bit already and other things, so I'm not going to get into detail of that. But they just really twisted. They beat it with propaganda so much they've lost track.
Yeah, they did. They do follow the liberal agenda. I like the special effects, and I watch it because, and I said this before, I support comic book superhero, because even if this one sucks, if it's continued to be watched, then maybe the next one will be good.
I thought they did a pretty good job with the Superman in that so far.
Oh, I think Superman was great.
It's like, just give me that. If you could give me a show with that character, I think I'd be golden 100%. And give me a Batman while you're at it.
Somebody put Supergirl has super failure. Somebody put Supergirl has super failure elements and great actors, and I agree. You know, I like the characters. That was just the plots have been sucky. I can only imagine being Dean Cain and coming into that show. Poor guy.
Yeah.
You know, what are they talking about?
I haven't seen Gotham since season 1. Should I give it a chance? I would say, why not? It's on Netflix. If you've got Netflix, give it a try. And you can
It's
always
at least
turn it off and say, well,
worth
shit,
a try. It's worth a shot at the very least. I haven't kept up with it. I kept up with.
If you don't like it, England team took too many painkillers that night. Turn it off. You know, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
You know,
I mean, I've been keeping up with a lot of the CW related shows.
It's clear. I think Supergirl would have been a better show if it was just a show for young girls, and I agree. You know, I think that could have been done that way, have that direction, or retooled the whole thing. And I mean, season 2 is really when it really went off the rails bad.
Yeah.
But before that, it had a lot of point. You know, I actually think that Melissa girl playing Supergirl is a really good fit for it. You know, too, and I love the character that plays Jimmy Olsen, even though that's not Jimmy Olsen at all. He's an interesting character. You know. So I like the character that he is. Just
I think that what I've noticed with that show,
they got him playing Guardian.
They have like a really good starting point, like for the first 2 seasons, but then it like dips all over the place in quality and a variety of like other problems and plots and stories, and then season finale comes and then it kind of picks back up a little bit and it's kind of better. But
I was asking here, will you give the Inhumans show a chance?
No.
Oh hell yes. Yes.
Wow, we have a hard no and a yes. I'm going to say yes. I'd give it a chance, but I don't have high expectations.
I don't either, but it's the royal family. It's the Inhumans that we liked before they started pushing the Inhumans on us.
Right.
So yeah, I'm going to give it a shot and see how it is.
But air though because of budget or something like.
Word of mouth has been so poor on that show that it's almost to the point where if you watch it, you might enjoy it because you expect it to be crap.
Now, Nerd Wonder, I have to warn you on this. He says live stream you watching it while drunk. I don't drink, you know, so it's not really going to happen with me.
Wrong podcast.
Yeah.
Yep. Wrong podcast.
Oh, I thought he meant us to do that. I'm sorry. There's a podcast that does that, or I'm dumb. Never mind. Got it. I did not put 2 and 2 together.
He's drunk, not us. Yeah,
that's just.
I've got Paul. I've got Paul Blart disease, so I actually can't drink. Now I call it that because people see in the movie, so they understand. If I drink alcohol, it knocks me right out, like almost instantly. The way my body processes blood at this point. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not. I'm not dying, guys. It's just something. You're like, oh, everything got quiet. No, it's okay.
It got dark and morbid. I'm tapping out. I'm out. Bye.
Somebody else mentioned watching Shield. I do watch Agents of Shield.
Absolutely. Did you see last season with Madam Hydra? Oh my gosh, that was so cool.
I skipped it.
Enjoyed that.
All right, no, I didn't skip it. I watched the first few parts with Ghost Rider, and then. I got bored.
It's on.
That's kind of what Shield does to me. I think it's interesting, and there's parts of it that I like, and then I get bored, and I'm like, okay.
I think it's improved. It has improved over the seasons, but it has some areas that lack.
What was it? Like season 2, I think.
Hold on. May I ask a question? Denise, you say, I like DNC, but people can't stop saying meep and traps are gay. What is that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
What is meeps and why are traps gay? I don't quite get this.
Traps?
Okay, agents of shit. Everybody's
well, I think I might know what they're referring to. I think that's something that's used in anime and whatnot. It's boys who dress like girls to look as girly as possible.
Oh, I had
therefore it's called
right now.
What?
So I should not be wearing a bra? Let the man boobies fly okay. Traps are men who dress as women. Alrighty.
Basically,
I am
lost.
Okay. The chat, racial slurs, meeps, traps are gay. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. My wife's cousin is a Thai lady boy, and the whole thing. This is one thing. If you ever hear me speak poorly about transgenders here, is because I know transgenders who had to work their way through the sex industry because of how badly they got shunned. So when I hear people like Mags talk about how oppressed he is when he's working his freaking dream job, my head just
Yeah.
So no, I'm not. I don't like the slurs. I don't like talking about because I've seen the dark side of things.
Yeah, I
and
don't...
these are nice kids. These are nice people. They're good. Now I think it's kind of funny when people say, "Well, I'm transfer, whatever they say now, transitioning." I know I guess at this point I'll call him a girl. I know a girl who began as a guy who really looks like a girl because, and yes, he worked through the sex industry, but every bit of money he got, he put it towards his transition because he really felt weird in his body. He wanted to be a woman. And so when I see that kind of commitment and I understand what it really is, when I see somebody like Mags, it just makes my head explode.
Yeah, that person needs some help. I mean,
because these are the problem is we say it's a mental illness and everybody jumps right down on our throats because God damn it, that's a slur and no, it's not.
No,
it's a fact. It's not saying these people are bad. It's something they're going through. And that is something that, and I think the whole turn on the fact that we call them mentally ill, it stops people from getting the help that they need. Some people can be talked out of it.
Right.
I'm getting real serious here. I'm sorry, guys. Comics again instead of transsexual.
We're gonna wrap it up.
But yeah,
quick here. Just a couple more minutes, if you guys don't mind, because I said I didn't want to go too long today. Did you have any other key things you want to mention before we finish up with a couple questions, by any chance?
I saw someone type in the chat, look up Haku from Naruto. Please don't. That confused me very much as a young child, you dirty bastard.
Okay, I'm going to take your word on it. I have no Magna.
Yeah,
that kind of
I was just
info.
responding to them. Don't worry about it.
Oh, here's something. Nostalgia and criticism brings up, I don't mind someone being trans or whatever, so long as they don't talk violence. Now, yesterday, during the whole to-do, we were on Mark Wade's Facebook page, and we're talking about this. And Mag says, oh, they're against trans people, and I'm so scared, and I'm so I sent a message. You threatened to beat people with a baseball bat. Oh, and then Susan Agger, oh, you hating. Then somebody put up the tweet. And she lost the audience.
Yep.
Nobody backs Mags if you show that tweet. I don't think a lot of people know. I think it's kind of like the Heather thing, where because of I think because of the milkshake thing, Heather's in a bubble. She doesn't, everybody jumps to her defense. And I think the same thing happened to Mags, because when everybody learned of that tweet.
Yeah.
Joshua Dortry mentioned, would I be willing to have you on one of these sometime? And I say, yeah. I'm about community building. That's what I want. I'm nothing special.
Joshua Doherty.
I'm sorry,
Not
my
good.
eyes. I don't have glasses on, and I probably should buy glasses. So
also,
back, it was hard to read.
Just to clear it up, because nobody gets it right, Anglantine. Not Egglantine.
First, I butcher all names anyway. Second,
yeah, it's your thing, man.
You've noticed, okay.
Math and butchering names.
Math and butchering names. I get math, I kill names, yes. The distance from me to the computer reading this, evidently I probably need glasses at this age. I haven't went to an eye doctor in over 25 years. I probably should. So, but absolutely, if you ever want to be and do one of these shows with me in chat, DM me in my Twitter or message me, and things like that. I'll do what I can to set up as many of them as I can. Okay?
I have something to say. I need to do at least 2 or 3 of these before the first. So on my channel. So yeah, if you want to get a hold of me on Twitter at Englantine, or DM me on YouTube. I need to run these, so I'm used to it, because the first is what I'm hoping to be annual Gabby Awards. Don't forget to vote. Go to the video on my YouTube channel, or it's pinned to my Twitter page. I'm already tallying everything, and a lot of the races are closer than you would think. So it's definitely, I'm loving this. I love the fact that I chose nothing. So, but yeah, I want to do this October 1st if it's possible, because I of course I want you guys to help if you can, and I want to make sure it's, you know, if it runs long, I want to make sure you can do it.
So what? It's the 1st of October.
Yeah, I want to do it on the 1st, but I'm willing to change that in order to make sure that can do it, because I don't know how long it'll run. This is the first time we've ever done it. And if you should do a Google form for voting, I have no idea what that means.
You know, and that invite that I mentioned, I'll be willing to have you guys on. That's anybody in there. Matter of fact, I was on Douglas Ernst's chat the other day, and somebody has a disagreement with me on something. I said, look, rather than sitting here typing it out, because I have a hard time typing a lot. So if you wondered why I put a thing about that, is I ripped my wrist apart years ago, and I have a hard time sometimes. So
yeah,
that's why I do the video sometimes rather than articles. Well, anyway, I said, you know, why don't we actually have a sit down and talk about this? He's like, really? I said, yeah, I don't hate you. We have a disagreement. Let's talk about that. And so I got to go back on his feed and look him up and say, hey, when are we going to do this? You know, that's why let's get this community together by talking. We can have disagreements and actually get along. And let's build this community.
I've talked to the drunken guys a couple of times. You know, it's we understand we don't agree, but it doesn't have to be you some bitch all the time.
Yeah,
you guys have actually been really nice and chatty to each other lately.
I still don't trust them as far as I could throw them, but
sure,
you know. But yeah, there's no need to be as
well. Did you see the tweet where he stood up for you? He did a tweet where he did a tweet not too long ago with somebody that said, hey, I went on a video stream with these guys, and I have to say, you know, for them, they're good guys, or something to that effect. So it's like, wow, okay, good. We're making connections, you know.
Oh, hold on just a second. Rebirth Mortal Comics. If you are a new YouTuber, send your video to my Twitter so I can take a look, and I'll share it for you, man.
Yeah, and don't worry if you hate your voice. We hate Nightwolf's voice too, and that's no problem.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's why I'm always talking over Nightwolf. Yeah, I'm always talking over Nightwolf to save you guys from listening to it.
Well,
to be honest, the only reason I bash on Nightwolf is actually I like his voice. I think it's unique and stands out. And two, he's one of the nicest guys I think I've YouTube, and it's just a pleasure having him in any conversation.
Yeah, sure. Keep kissing my ass,
Billy,
Captain.
Billy, the whole thing is everybody will say that you are a minion of Captain Cummings and Diversity in Comics.
Yep.
Or if somebody says something to you and I come along and I'm like, hey guys, wait, that's not right. They'll say that you brought your dad. Or, yeah, I've heard granddad too. So either way.
I love it when somebody calls me a minion. He's like, really, check the dates on mine. I've been here long before Diversity in Comics. I'm just not nearly as successful.
Yeah, same here. Same here. It's like, go back to my backlog before I even talk to any of these yahoos.
Yeah. Exactly.
My accent is tainted, Denise. He's got a pure country accent. I've got a country accent, Chicago and Thai, in the way that I stretch out vowels at the end and such. So it's kind of a mutt going on. Yeah.
All right, guys. Is everyone good?
I think so.
Yeah, we're cool. Once again, don't forget, if you haven't voted, go to my Twitter page at Englentine. It's hooked there. The video is, and the what am I trying to say? Categories are in the description of the video.
Absolutely. And any of you guys are starting channels and things like that, by all means, let us know and send it to me. I'd love to watch your stuff, and I love to help promote others, because the more of us that are sharing our views and stuff, the more we're helping build this, the more we can get maybe people interested back in the comic books, and let's keep this thing alive that we enjoy. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, I'd like to thank Engeltine and Nightwolf a ton for joining me today, and you guys as well. Thank you for your time and spending with us. It truly means a lot to me, and I'm sure it means a lot to these guys too as well. Just to be able to have a conversation like this, that's not an argument, sharing the love of it and how we want things to get better. So thank you again for watching. And until next time, you guys, keep it frugal.
Have fun, kids.
Bye.